Hey loves, it's Neva, and I want to come on here today to talk about something that I wish was talked about when I first started. I mean, this would have saved me a lot of money, a lot of time, energy, and headache, girl. A lot. So you may be wondering, girl, what you talking about? I am talking about things to know before you transition to natural, or while you're transitioning to natural. This could save your life, girl. I've been natural for almost 6 years, and actually it's the best decision I've made hair-wise in my life. My hair was over processed, it was thin, it was breaking out, it was a whole bunch of craziness, and one day I just decided I'm going natural. I was tired of my hair looking like a little twig, okay? I was tired of the length and not the fullness. I wanted the whole shebang, okay? And I felt like I deserved the whole shebang because it's my hair, and if I could get the whole shebang, why not? So girl, I went natural. The first thing to think about before you transition is, how do you want to transition? There are two main ways to transition. There's the Amber Rose way. Cut that mess off, girl, all the way. Basically, this is called the big chop. and what this does is just, you're cutting off all your processed hair at once. You can either do the big chop or you can trim as you go. And that's the option that I took until I got tired of it. I didn't know how I would look with the TWA, which is a teeny weeny afro. That when you get a big chop, most women get. I didn't know how it would look. I didn't know how I would style it. I was just foreign to the whole natural thing, so I decided to just ease my way into it so I could be all good. Because your hair is so fragile and brittle, you don't want to bother it. You don't want to keep messing with it because you can make things worse. Being natural or transitioning, you are expected to have shedding, breakage, all of that, because you have parts of your hair that is natural and then you have parts of your hair that is processed. So you are to expect breakage and shedding and all that stuff. So the best option is to kind of do protective styles in your head. The first protective style you could do is either a braid out or a twist style. Now this is good because, again, you have two different types of textures in your hair, and your hair is not consistent. When you do a twist out or a braid out, you're manipulating your hair in a safe way to all be cohesive. I did this for about 8 months of my transitioning, and the only problem was with having a sew-in, the type of sew-in I had, I was always putting heat on the front part of my hair, or the leave out, and that's a complete no-no. You don't want to continue to put heat on your hair, processed or not. So just be mindful when you get a sew-in. You don't want something that you always have to put heat on. So yeah, you don't want to leave your sew-ins in for too long because you want to be able to give your hair a break, and you want to be able to moisturize your hair and give it the love that it needs. And going on to the next point is braids. Braids are good as well, but again, you don't want to leave them in too long. You want to give your hair a break and moisturize and condition and do all that good stuff before you put braids back in. I was not into wigs. I didn't like the way they looked. I like them now, but back then I didn't like the way they looked, so I didn't do the wig option, but that is something that you could do. But again, you want to avoid heat at all costs. Like, do not put heat on your hair while you're transitioning. Even after you transition, avoid heat as much as possible. The third thing is, it may cause tenderness or soreness in your head. Yeah, you're gonna feel soreness in your head. It's like that feeling you get when you need a relaxer, and you know, because the middle of your head is a little little bit sore, like you like, ooh girl, this middle of my head is sore, I need, you know, this time for a relaxer. That's that feeling that you get sometimes. And yeah, you get used to it, or maybe it goes away. I don't know. I don't really feel it as much, but when I first started, I was like, this is painful. Painful. The next thing is you want to make sure that your hair is hydrated and your scalp is very much oiled. I cannot stress this enough, especially for the type of hair texture I have. For the women who have thick, curly hair, coarse hair, you tend to have dry hair, and you want to make sure that you are always moisturizing your hair. Also, when you hydrate your hair, you want to make sure you hydrate your hair all throughout. Like, don't just do the front, don't just do the back, get that middle, girl. Moisturizing your hair throughout, and focus on the ends because that is the oldest part of your hair, so you want to make sure you focus more on your ends. I didn't even know this is a big deal, but it is. Steps to seal your hair. So there's steps. There's 3 steps, mainly 3 steps that I know of. The first thing when you're moisturizing your hair is you want to use your conditioner, your leave-in conditioner, or your moisturizer in first. Okay, you want to saturate that all over your head. Then you want to get your oil, whatever oil you're going to use to seal the moisture inside your hair. So you want to put that on top of the conditioner or moisturizer. Then after that, when you want to style your hair, you use a gel or you use a styler. Could be both, whatever. But you want to make sure you do it in those 3 steps, because if you put gel on your hair without putting any moisturizer on your hair, it could cause breakage, it could dry your hair out, it could do a lot of things you don't want it to do, and you want your hair to be healthy. So those are the 3 main steps to follow when you're trying to moisturize and seal your hair. I normally get trims every 6 months. You could do it every 3 to 6 months. I wouldn't suggest that you continue to chop your hair off, and I would not suggest that you continue to not get trimmed. Even though you're fully natural, it's good to get trims every 3 to 6 months. So, wash days. This is important because this is something, girl, that I didn't even know. I didn't know about. It would have saved me so much time and trouble. So, when you wash your hair, wash it in sections. This is the best way to wash your hair, especially when you're starting off, because when you wash your hair, especially when you're transitioning, I'm gonna tell you why. That when you wash your hair, of course, you know it's 2 different textures. It's the processed hair and the natural hair. When you're washing your hair, sometimes that processed hair, girl, it won't act right. It won't act right. It acts like a bad stepchild, and you do not want that bad stepchild to get on your nerves. So when you wash it in sections, it will alleviate tangling, it will alleviate matting, it will alleviate a lot of stuff. Focus on your scalp, because that is the main thing. When you're shampooing, you want to focus on just your scalp, and the rest of the shampoo that runs down your hair will cleanse the rest of the hair, but your scalp is the one that needs to be clarified. You want to focus your conditioner on the ends, because that is the oldest part of your hair, so it needs the most attention. You want to focus the conditioner on your ends, still keeping it in that ponytail. You also want to detangle in sections, because detangling with just a big old poof or afro or whatever, it could be overwhelming at times. So you want to make sure that you detangle in sections as well. Just keep it in the same section and start from the bottom and work your way up, because when you comb your hair or detangle your hair from the root down, all that hair that's just sitting there is coming all the way down to the bottom. Then you can get knots, you can get matting, you can get just a whole bunch of tangling you don't want. So start from the ends and work your way up. Never ever detangle your hair while shampooing. That is when your hair is weak, is when you're shampooing. Like, shampoo, typically, depending on what shampoo you use, and most of the shampoos I've used, they don't moisturize. They are there to strip and cleanse your hair. So it causes your hair to be very brittle, very dry, very just on the verge of saying, I need water, please help. And you don't want to comb your hair, detangle your hair while you're shampooing, because it could cause your hair to snap. So never detangle your hair while you're shampooing. It's best to detangle your hair after you've conditioned, because that's when your hair is, you know, it's hydrated, it's, you know, it's a little more flexible to be able to detangle. This is very important as well, because this could alleviate a lot of damage that you may cause on yourself. When you get ready to wash your hair, you want to make sure you are energized. You want to make sure you are up to it. You want to make sure you are not going to be frustrated, which you may be frustrated either way, but just make sure you're well rested, you've ate, you've done everything you need to do, because this process could take all day. Especially when you're not used to it, it could take forever to wash your hair, to detangle your hair, to style your hair. Being a natural is not easy, but it's worth it, okay? Listen to your hair. Your hair speaks to you. Yes, girl, it talks to you. It talks to you. It tells you what it likes. It tells you what it doesn't like. You have to listen to your hair. You listening by noticing what products it likes. Some products make your hair dry. Some products make your hair flaky, especially when you combine 2 or more products. Some products make your hair oily, greasy, all of that. You want to make sure you listen to your hair and find out exactly what your hair likes. And you could do this. I know some people are like, you know, I don't want to keep going to the store and buying a whole bunch of products to figure out what my hair likes. I get it, girl, because I did that, and I was like, oh no, we're going to use these products until it's gone. Some of the products probably weren't good for my hair, but I went ahead and used it because I spent money on it. An option that you could do is, and I know Sally's does this, I know the hair store does this, I know sometimes you can get little samples when you buy something at Walmart or Target, something like that, but you can try the sample size. Try that and see how you like that first, and then, you know, figure out if you want to buy the bigger version or not. Or if you have family or friends that are natural, you know, if they want to share, sharing is caring, you know, they could share with you, girl. See if, you know, you like it. Next thing, very important, y'all, very important, because I did this and I should not have done this, but I did it anyway. Coloring your hair. Now, it's okay to color your hair. It is perfectly fine to color your hair if you want to. I mean, you just have to make sure you are doing it right. You're going to a professional and they know what they're doing, all that good stuff. So before you get your hair colored, you want to do your research, okay? Do your research, girl, and you want to consult with a natural hairstylist. You want to make sure you go to a natural hairstylist. That is very important. A real natural hairstylist. That is very important, because there's a whole bunch of fakes out here. You're not a natural hairstylist. You don't know anything about being natural. How you gonna be natural and you got a relaxer on? What? There's probably plenty of people who know how to do natural hair but have a relaxer. I'm just, haha. You want to make sure you consult with the stylist and make sure they know what they're doing, get a good vibe from them, and let them look at your hair and make recommendations. I remember when I went to go get my hair colored, I colored my whole hair, and it was not like no subtle color. It was blonde. It wasn't the whole thing. I had blonde streaks, but I colored my whole hair like a light brown, and then I did blonde streaks. Well, the person I went to, she was not a natural hairstylist, and she did not, I don't even think she really knew how to do natural hair, well, black hair. I don't think she knew how to do that, but I went to her anyway, and she did a great job as far as the coloring. The application was beautiful, but it towed my head up. Tow it up, girl, tow it up. I just felt the difference before. It wasn't as full because coloring tends to make your hair thinner. Coloring tends to break your hair. Coloring tends to tangle a whole bunch, especially if you're coloring your hair blonde. And I did like a blonde type of color in my hair, and yeah, that kind of messed me up. It was beautiful, but it messed me up. To the right person to color my hair, because I probably would not have colored my hair that color if that was the case, or they would have found a safer way. I don't know if that's out there. I don't even know if coloring is safe, but to be on the safe side, just don't do it. But I know some people, you know, you want changes. I would not suggest that you color your hair while you're transitioning. That I would not suggest that, because again, your hair is very, very brittle, and putting color on it will only make it worse. Picking a stylist. Some people don't like doing their own hair. I get it, girl, I get it. So if you want somebody else to mess with your hair because you just don't have time, I would suggest you find a natural hairstylist, somebody who is experienced with natural hair. This is very important because, again, they know exactly what your hair needs at times. They know what it doesn't need. They know what they're doing. So you want to make sure you go someone who is a natural hairstylist. Again, schedule a consultant session so you can get a good vibe, that you can ask questions. They can give you what they think you need for your hair, and just figure out if you want to go to that person. Another thing is, look at their previous work and reviews. A lot of people that I went to was from recommendations. The first stylist, she was cool. She did what she needed to do to get it done, but I felt like she didn't cater to that natural hair at all. So the second hairstylist I went to was a complete disaster, because she was a natural hairstylist, but she wasn't a natural hairstylist. She was a perpetrator. And if she was, maybe she rushed that day, but I told her I would never come back, because the way she detangled my hair was like, girl, I have a scalp, okay? My hair is coming off of my scalp because you're detangling the wrong way. Like, even I know this. And then the last one I went to, I absolutely loved and adored her, but of course I had to move, so I'm kind of missing her doing my hair. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she was a natural hairstylist. Protection. Girl, your hair needs protection. Okay, otherwise it's gonna catch a case. You don't want it to catch something, right? You don't want it to catch breakage. You don't want it to catch shedding, all that good stuff. So, protecting your hair. When you're natural, especially like I said before, when you're transitioning and when you become fully natural, you want to wear protective styling. Especially in the wintertime, that is a good time for you to wear protective styling, and we already went over the hairstyles you can go to. You want to keep your hair moisturized. I can't stress this enough. Your hair needs to be, if you have thicker, coarser, curlier hair, you want to make sure your hair is moisturized and your scalp is oiled. That is very important. And when you sleep, you want to sleep with a satin pillow, and you want to sleep with a satin bonnet. And avoid wearing hair ties often. If you need to wear hair ties, say for instance you're in the military, you have to wear your hair in a bun. Just kind of put it in different areas, or as soon as you come home, take the hair tie out, because you don't want to keep your hair constrained like that. You let your hair breathe. I learned a lot on YouTube by looking at other people's journeys and seeing what they use, products they use, what they did. So I would suggest you do that as well, which if you're watching this video, you're doing that anyway. Yeah. You want to make sure you're comparing your hair to that person and making sure it's around the same texture. just have patience, especially with your growth. If you watch your hair every day, you know, you're not gonna see much change because you're looking at it every day. But if you take your mind off of it and if you just focus on something else, 3 months goes by, 6 months goes by, you're gonna say, what? My hair is this long? Yes, honey. Yes, your hair is that long. Last thing is just have fun with it. You're natural, it's your true you. It's your hair that grows out of your scalp naturally. So just have fun with it. Every piece of hair doesn't need to be in place. You're natural. So just have fun with it. Be free. Love your hair. Be proud of your hair. And walk confidently with your hair. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was very informative, like I wanted it to be. And I hope it saved somebody's life. Well, their natural hair, you know. But I hope it did some good, and I pray that somebody learned something from this and is able to, you know, take their natural hair to the next level quicker than what I did. Thank you for watching, and God bless. About when I started. Why are you honking? Oh my, I'm hungry, girl. Constrained. Is that a word? Constrained? I remember, ooh, someone's biting me, girl. Girl, I think it is constrained. Jeez. I don't know. Constrain. I think that is a word. Try that. Ooh, I spit on y'all. Sorry. So,